This episode of Mid-Tier Champs, a podcast that is mid-tier at best, features Kasper Kuzmicki, a Polish man interested in the works of Tex Avery, aka Fred Avery, an animating giant, a dock worker who is putting fruits and vegetables in trucks and painting cars. Worked his way from the ladder as an inker, a tracer, and now head animator. His work has inspired many cartoons, and he is a legend in his own name. Let us start the show as we dive deeper
Hello.
and deeper into this
Hello?
lore.
Hello.
Yo, my dude.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Nice.
Yo, you using a mic, man?
I am the same one that I use in the video.
Wow, you sound real crisp, dude. You sound good as hell, man.
This is a podcast, so I have to sound good, no?
Like, Casper got that warm voice. And you got the turtleneck too.
I didn't shave, but it's a podcast, so
That is true. I am joined by an expert, you may say, a traveler in arts. My man, Casper. Casper, please introduce yourself to people who don't know your background, your resume.
What is my resume?
Your curriculum vitae.
We're recording already? I didn't even hear a button or anything.
Yeah, we're recording.
Nice. You didn't even give 3, 2, 1. You're like, let's just get right into it. Okay. Hello, my name is Kasper Kuzmicki. I'm Polish, and yeah, I like cartoons, especially old ones. They inspired me to pursue a life in comedy. And yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, I met Casper at a magnet class, the Magnet Theater, which is I don't know how to describe it. It's
it's very woke.
It's a very LGBTQ type place, I guess. Since I'm not allowed to use certain words anymore to describe things I don't like. We were doing what was it called? Like a character?
Yeah, it was a character sketch, one man character or one woman, the sketch show thing. And yeah, we had teacher who kind of looks like Mike Birbiglia, whatever his name is.
Mike Birbiglia.
Yeah, he looks like him. And yeah, and we met some annoying people there. And then after the class was over, we got to talking.
I remember there were like a bunch of people who just like did like 2 classes and then immediately disappeared.
Yeah, that's pretty common.
And then I think everyone else was like really annoying for some reason.
I remember you told me there was this one girl who would always like stare at, or was it a guy who would always give me a weird stare after my skits or whatever.
Oh yeah, there was like some like short hair like feminist chick.
I remember her, yeah.
Very angry at your sense of humor for some reason. She's fucking livid.
She just can't take it, you know.
She cannot handle your young toxic masculinity. And then there was like this very flamboyantly gay guy who thought he was like on the cutting edge of comedy.
Yeah. There weren't that many people. It was like 6, right? It was like 6 people.
Yeah, it was really small.
Yeah. Whew. That was funny.
Yeah, and then we started working together and we put on a show actually.
Yeah. Just for our friends, but that was enough, I think.
It was pretty hit. Like people, when I talked to people, they really liked it. I think I fucked up a lot on that show. There was
you
like
did
there
well.
was a lot of technical. It wasn't like me fucking up. It was more like the computer wouldn't do what I wanted to do for certain cues. I looked like a fucking idiot, and I was so fucking pissed.
I still have that show recorded, by the way.
Yeah. It's on my Google Drive too. There's
Yeah.
a part where I'm trying to press a button, and then you just stand there and go, "Just do this, dear." You just click, and it works. And I'm like about to fucking like throw the computer through the window.
Yeah, I vaguely remember
It just
that.
would not take my my Asian fingers. It just
Was that your computer or mine?
it was yours.
Damn, racist.
Racism.
Racist computer.
But yeah, let's talk about that show. Like, tell me your vision of that before we get into that, because we need to know your the lore of you before we delve.
Sure. It was called Me Too 2, a show about me, and still there, yeah. And no, yeah, it was just like I just made a bunch of disparate characters, and I was like, oh, what do they all have in common? It's like, oh, they're all kind of egotistical or narcissistic or whatever, and yeah, let's just make a framing device. And it was basically you. It was like a contest to see who was the best performer, I guess. But as you expect, it was a train wreck, both in universe and out.
You know what's amazing? A lot of people told me that their favorite parts were the parts where I was fucking up, and they thought it was part of the show.
Yeah,
They thought that the chaos was actually part of the comedy, and they really
yeah.
enjoyed that.
I mean, that's what I love about this. that's it works, you know what I mean? And that's the advantage of comedy as opposed to drama, because then it just takes you completely out of it when you do drama.
But yeah, drama has comedy can go either way, good or bad. But if it gets a laugh, it's still good.
Yeah, that's the genius of the show. And my favorite part was, of course, the ending where you ate a banana and then you put the banana peel on the floor, and then I stood up and made a very like impassioned speech. And again, it's the blurring of the fourth wall, which is a good segue into Tex. So it's good that you mentioned that you were fucking up, because that happens a lot in Texas cartoons on purpose. And then and you drop the banana peel, and then that happens like near the end, but like at the 80% mark, and then like around the 95% mark, I'm making a speech, and it's like I'm talking directly to the audience. So I'm breaking the fourth wall, and I'm basically saying this is a new type of comedy. It's like bold, it's innovative, it's new, but I need you to help me. And then I don't notice the banana peel, and I slip on it, and I fall, and I die. and then you come out and you mourn my loss, and like, who did this? And then somebody in the audience actually said it was you, quietly. And then you realize yourself, oh wait, it was me, and then the show ends.
Yeah, that part, when I watch it back, I think I'm doing actually a very good job of being dramatic. I'm like,
it was really good.
This is very real.
Yeah,
but it's still very funny because we're just making fun of the realness, but it's that blur in line. And one thing I really like that I don't think a lot of people caught is like the name of the show, the Me Too.
And we used the Halo music at the end to make it my speech more dramatic. It was funny. And then when I stepped on the banana peel, it just like completely cut, and then it was like, yeah.
One of my friends invited her roommate, and he was fucking furious about the show.
Why?
Because he's like a very pretentious art dude. Like, he took us to a movie that was 3 hours long about a bell with a crack in it.
Sounds like an asshole.
Yeah, he's a real pretentious dork.
Talking about the bell, of course, the bell with the crack. Sounds like an asshole. Oh, wait, tell me more about that guy. Why was he furious?
You know Martin Scorsese, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, he really hates his films. Anything with like edge. He's just...
Did he not like the title?
Maybe we. I don't know. He was just fuming. He was so mad. Like he couldn't even look me in the eye. He was so fucking mad about the show.
Wow. That means we succeeded pretty well.
I feel like we did. I want to ask you this question. Like, I've never understood this. You, as a person who's done like stand-up comedy, sketch comedy, improv, what is it about comedy that makes people so mad?
That's a
Like,
good question. I think because comedy just makes fun of people and makes fun of things, like good comedy at least. So when you're on the receiving end, or when you think you're on the receiving end and people are laughing, it's like you get like, you get like, you're so humiliated internally, I think. But that's when it's working.
do you think it's just that jealousy of not like being
Yeah.
part of the communal experience?
Yeah, that's a good point. I
Laughing?
think so too. Yeah, because it's back to from an evolutionary standpoint. It's like, oh, I'm not in the in crowd. That's not good. You know what I mean?
Why is it personal anger? If someone insults you, right? And
Yeah,
you get
yeah.
angry at them, like you personally, like want something bad to happen to that. But why is it with joking, which is not personal, it's joke, it's not real, it's
Yeah.
it's silly. Why do people also have that same type of feeling as if it was a real like
I
attack?
think it's like if some random guy makes a joke to you on the street, it's like, oh, whatever. But if it's like on a show and it's like a lot of people are watching, and then like the joke's actually good, and then a lot of people are laughing, then it's like multiple things. It's the in crowd, you're not with the in crowd, and then that person is smart. So yeah, there's jealousy, so he's more attractive. Yeah, you're not being personally attacked, but it's like obviously directed toward you. And yeah, it's all in good fun, but it's still, these people are weird, I guess. Like,
People feel like they're being judged on whether
Mhm.
they laugh or don't laugh at something. Like
That's a good
even
point.
your entertainment is under attack. You can't even be like, I like that comedian without certain implications
Yeah.
about your character.
Yeah, it's really weird. Like, it's just like goes against the complete definition of comedy, which is something to not be taken seriously. They're taking it so seriously. It's just a weird world we're living in. I don't know how else to say it. That's all I got to say about that.
All right. But yeah, you've been on quite a journey. Tell me about.
Yeah, I moved to Los Angeles. Honestly, I didn't even spend that much time doing comedy. I was just surviving, but doing random jobs and whatnot. But yeah, then COVID hit, and I was like, well, I lost my job, which I was a tour guide, and I was doing Uber Eats for a while, but I just got sick of it, and then I moved back to New York, and yeah, and then I hit you up again. It was because I was reading the script for Me Too 2. I was cleaning my room as prescribed by Jordan Peterson, the Red Skull. And
Philosopher, maybe Nazi.
yeah, and then I was like, yeah, this is funny. We should collaborate again. And that's when I hit you up, and that's when we made our video together. But yeah, check our video out. It's called "This Video Will Literally Change Your Life." One of many videos called that.
Yo, tell them about the views. Tell them how fast it's catching on compared to these other theaters in New York.
Yeah, let me refresh the page. 375, nice, even, or odd, I guess.
God damn.
Just over a week, and it's basically my first YouTube video on my channel, so it's pretty good for nobody, I guess. And yeah, we already beat Squirrel Theater, who was our enemy for some reason.
What got you into Tex Avery?
It's very interesting. It was during COVID, and my sister was like, "Oh, I just watched Space Jam. It was pretty funny." And I was like, "Okay, let me watch it." I mean, I already watched it, but let me just watch it again because it's in the middle of the pandemic.
You need a second look at Space Jam.
Yeah,
A deeper look.
Yeah, a critical analysis. And then I was like, let me just watch like every cartoon. After I watched so I started watching.
No way, Space Jam was like a gateway drug for you to binge on every animated thing you've seen.
Basically, because it was good, but like obviously Space Jam is not as good as the classics. So I started watching Mickey Mouse cartoons, and then Looney Tunes, and then I eventually got to Tex Avery. It was just such a breath of fresh air because all the cartoons before him suck. Basically, he was like the first person to like make funny cartoons, and I just really like his style. Like it's just pure comedy, which I like. You know, there was just so
One
much.
thing I've noticed is all the things that they say in new comedy, breaking the fourth wall, or like act out and stuff. Like this was stuff Ted Avery was doing like way before like any of that stuff got popular.
Yeah, I mean, and it was probably popular way before him as well in like vaudeville shows. I'm sure they were doing similar things that he was. He just took it to the next level because he was working with the animated form, which you can do a lot more things, which I like. I like that he actually took advantage of the medium that he's in, which you don't really see in cartoons nowadays. They're basically just like sitcoms. You know what I mean? The animation is not as lively for one, and it's like obsessed with like realism almost, like, which is kind of weird. Like even The Simpsons, it's a little more. It used to be a little bit more outlandish, I guess, but even then, it wasn't still like. I like Tex Avery because it's a cartoon. You know what I mean? It's like,
They're almost obsessed with realism. And it's
yeah,
almost like a sitcom. Like today's cartoons about like, oh, we're depressed. You talk about depression,
yeah, it's
like
weird.
the work day, and it's like, oh, this is a cartoon, but it's actually for adults because we're putting this real stuff.
Yeah,
It's kind of a con, you know what I mean?
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that
Even
you
Rick and
sell the
Morty.
cartoon, you sell the adult stuff, but then you put the cartoon thing to make it a new spin. But
Yeah, yeah.
it's the old shit you watch at a sitcom, right?
It's basically it's almost like radio. You can like not watch the animation and it will be like it won't really affect your enjoyment that much. It's like talking heads basically. They're just like the bodies are still and the mouths are just moving and then it's very dialogue focused. That's what I was looking for. It's very dialogue focused. And that's not how cartoons were. Animation comes from to animate, which means like inanimate objects like a table, it like moves. That is animation. So it's ironic that today's animation is just like the complete opposite. There's just like them standing still and their mouths moving. I mean, look no further than Family Guy. It's just like that's animation. Like, get the hell out of here. You know what I mean?
It's weird how people go into animated forum and then the focus is on the writing.
Yeah, it's really weird. South Park obviously was a major another major player in that. It's I mean the animation is horrible. Not that's always a bad thing. You know, the animation doesn't always have to be amazing, but yeah, it's like South Park really focuses on the writing and the dialogue.
One of the things that you showed me with like Tex Avery cartoons that I really like is the jokes escalate with the animation.
Yeah, like the Village Smithy one, that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that end joke, basically the joke is like what he like goes on some sort of ride, and then he reaches an endpoint and then he goes backwards.
Right.
And it's really funny. You got to see it. Obviously, it's a cartoon, but it's like that joke is a pretty good example of something that would not be done nowadays. You know what I mean? I don't really see that type of joke being done in animation today.
Because you're like a pretty young guy, so like I'm very like fascinated by why you're inspired by something of an era past, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
Especially of that medium. Most people in comedy like, you know, comedians or like comedy TV shows where you're like into Tex Avery, and similar to me, like I was inspired by like pro wrestling promos and like rap blogs.
I like
I'm
that.
not
Yeah,
inspired by like comedy. I'm inspired by like
that's a good question. There's a lot of reasons. With Tex, he's almost like an auteur, an artist, and I really like you say like as opposed to modern comedy, but you know, I watched a lot of older cartoons as well, and I will say that the reason why he's better than a lot of his contemporaries, like for example Tom and Jerry, you know, I watched a lot of Tom and Jerry cartoons, and honestly, they're pretty bad. I don't like them at all. Like,
you think it's just a formulaic slapstickness of it all?
yeah, it's like when I was younger, I liked it a lot, but I watching it with like you know older eyes or whatever, it's not very good, and I think it's because it's very like safe comedy. It's like, oh, this is what I think the theater audience will like, as opposed to when I watch Text, it's like, oh no, this is what I think is funny. This is funny. Like he like he like asserts it, you know what I mean? I like the confidence that he has. Like you were saying before, modern comedy, yeah, it kind of lacks that confidence as well. You know, Tex was like groundbreaking. He was like doing new things, and he was like, "This is what I think is funny." And it's a similar Tom and Jerry is. You see it all over today as well. It's like, you were saying the horse and the BoJack Horseman and stuff like that. It's kind of similar today, where it's like when I watch something comedic, I'm like, oh, this is what the person thinks I think is gonna be funny. But when I'm watching a Tex Avery cartoon, it's like, oh no, this is what I think is funny. That's what I really like about him.
Do you also think it's a matter of death by committee with comedy, with especially with stuff like BoJack Horseman and like
Probably.
maybe Tom and Jerry? It's like a bunch of people that are comedy writers, and then above them is a bunch of marketing people who's like, this age likes this, you got to do this to hit this market and to sell this. You can't
Yeah,
say this, you know.
probably, especially for more modern ones. Again, I didn't really do that much research on modern cartoons as to how they're made because they just don't interest me that much. But I will say the Tom and Jerry ones, the two main guys behind it were William Hanna and Joe Barbera, and I just think at the end of the day, they just weren't as talented as Tex, to be honest. Like, I don't want to call them hacks because they weren't, especially compared to today's cartoons. They made really well made cartoons, like they're really well animated and stuff. And there are some Tom and Jerry cartoons I like. I think my favorite one is the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde one. That one I recommend. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's like you just need a certain type of person, certain type of comedic vision. And I don't think Joe, I always forget their names, William Hanna and Joe Barbera Hanna-Barbera had it as much as Tex. And yeah, they did kind of become hacks later on because they made a bunch of quite poor TV. I mean, all
Their stuff became franchises, right? Like
yeah,
all their stuff
basically,
became
yeah.
products, basically.
And they kind of created the modern cartoon in a way with the talking heads. Like they just stand still and their mouth moves. You know what I mean? So yeah, they did kind of ruin cartoons.
So are you confident to call them hacks now after?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
monologue?
yeah, I think so. I
They're
will
not
call
hacks.
them hacks. Yeah, that's my hot take. Speaking of hacks, another interesting thing about Tex is if you watch a lot of his cartoons, you will notice that he does reuse a lot of jokes. So you may be tempted to call him a hack at times. The interesting thing about like theater cartoons, if you don't know, it was like extremely rare for you to watch any two cartoons of the same director, even one sometimes. You know, it would just be completely random. So the odds of you seeing two of the same jokes, like from one cartoon to another, was extremely low. And the other thing is, sometimes he would improve upon jokes, the big blowout, whatever it was called. I mean, he would reuse that concept, for example, several times. I think each time it was funny, it was slightly different. But yeah, other times, because there was a period where I just kind of binge watched him. There were moments where like, oh my God, this again.
I mean, does that make Tex more like of a journeyman? Because like maybe he was actually hopping through like theaters to see like how his jokes would play in like other places.
I think he did do that.
That's how he would improve it, and that's why he would repeat it in certain places.
Yeah. And the other thing was other directors would repeat gags as well for similar reasons, just because like I can't think of anything. But also like, oh, they like this joke, let me just do it again. And the odds of the same people seeing it were so low. It's like, why not? They were not meant to be syndicated on television or on DVDs. Like that was not what they were thinking at all. So I don't know, just kind of interesting fact. Why don't you tell us some of your opinions?
I just thought that they were groundbreaking to this day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Are you familiar with like Ren and Stimpy?
Yeah. They were actually more inspired by a director called Bob Clampett, but that's a discussion for another day.
That's another day. All right. Well, my reference was off, but
no, he was definitely obviously still inspired by Tex. But yeah, go on.
It's just still that energy.
Yeah.
Inspired by art that has passion, and like that Tex Avery was all tour. He was saying like what he thought was funny. There was a definite voice. When I watched this cartoon, it's like like immediately you're like, this is a Tex Avery thing because of the jokes.
Yeah,
not because of the style of animation.
Yeah. He was all about the gag, and to be honest, the whole like idea of cartoons having to be funny is pretty much all him. Like that was his legacy. That's why he's called the king of cartoons. For better or for worse, cartoons are like there always have to be some jokes. They always have to be kind of funny.
He also had something that really made me think, like this one cartoon you sent me, Porky Pig. He's trying to keep on returning what it was, a clock. It was like a bomb, basically.
Yeah, it was a bomb. Yeah, he didn't know, but yeah.
It had this great duality because it's like he's trying to like look like a good person, but his like motive is just as greedy as a bomb person. He just wants to eat some sundaes. Like he found out that being nice and helping people is like a way to achieve his greedy goals of gluttony. Like,
yeah.
His virtue is one of the greatest sins.
Yeah. Yeah, the cartoon is called The Blowout, I think. It's one of his earlier cartoons, but honestly it's still one of my favorites.
What was the joke you said that they reuse in The Blowout?
It was just the whole concept of the protagonist chasing the antagonist to such a ludicrous degree. It was reused in a couple of his other cartoons, including a Bugs Bunny cartoon, but it has a new twist because it's Bugs Bunny is trying to beat the turtle in the race, but the turtle keeps appearing, but it's actually his family members. He basically invented Bugs Bunny.
Just like the whole personality, or like
yeah, the character of the bunny, who was like a mischievous character, existed before him, but he made him the more calm guy. Like what's up, Doc? That comes from Tex. Yeah, because he's from Texas, I think. That's why he's called Tex. His real name is Fred. And
Fred Avery doesn't have the same ring to it.
Yeah, and then Texas, it was just common. It's like, oh hey, what's up, dude? It's hey, what's up, Doc? He put it in there because he thought it would be funny. Like Bugs Bunny is so calm next to this hunter that he's just like, hey, what's up? And apparently that it was extremely successful at the theaters, that phrase, what's up, dog? Like everyone was like, ah!
Oh, was it like the modern day, like Michael
viral
Myers, like, do I make you horny, baby? Or like Jim Carrey's The Mask, smoking.
Yeah, basically it was like, it went viral, the 1940s equivalent. What's up, dog? That's why it's like in every single Bugs Bunny cartoon, hey, what's up, dog? Even like, Avery left very soon after that first cartoon, but there's like almost 200 Bugs Bunny cartoons, and he says it in every single one almost. So it's just funny.
That's crazy. That's why they say so. Like it really was like just like,
yeah. And then when the patrons left, apparently there was like, oh, we want more of that bunny cartoon
because we want to hear the line.
Well, yeah, and I mean, people were just attracted to his personality because Bugs Bunny is really cool.
True. I want to ask you on the subject of Bugs Bunny. How do you feel about the desexualization of Lola Bunny for Space Jam?
It has nothing to do with anything, but yeah, I don't mind. Yeah, sure.
No worries. All right.
She was already desexualized in the Looney Tunes show in 2011, and it was voiced by Kristen Wiig, Lola Bunny, in that show, and it was pretty good. Like they gave her a different personality, and I liked it.
So wait, what was her personality in the new Looney Tunes spinoff? How did they desexualize her? Was she not wearing a belly shirt anymore?
Yeah, I don't remember her outfit, but basically she was the crazy girlfriend archetype. She was voiced by Kristen Wiig.
Isn't that more problematic than the bunny you want to fuck?
I don't think so, because the bunny that you want to fuck is just that. Whereas the crazy girlfriend archetype, she was funny, so she felt more loony. You know what I mean?
And Toonie.
Yeah. So Looney Tunes is actually a parody of Silly Symphonies, which was a Disney cartoon in the late 1920s. And sometimes people think it's Looney Tunes, like Toons, like Looney Cartoons, but it's actually Looney Tunes, like the song. They're crazy songs because originally the cartoons each had a song.
What? So each one would have an original song?
Well, not original, but it was from the Warner Brothers library. Like the first one was called Sinkin' in the Bathtub. It's a riff on Singing in the Bathtub. Singing in the Bathtub.
I don't know that song.
It's from the 1920s, so I don't imagine you will.
I think everyone's vivid memory of like Looney Tunes is actually the musical between Bugs Bunny and Elmer Fudd, where he's
What's
they did
opera
opera.
duck? Yeah.
And he jumps on all fours on Elmer's head and starts giving him a massage.
Oh, that was the Rabbit of Seville.
Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not that big of a fan of that one, to be honest.
Really? Not even the whipped cream and like the.
It's good, but like it was so overhyped. I watched it. I was like, it's pretty good. You know which one I do like? It's by the same director, Chuck Jones. Long-haired hair. That one like made me cry. It was really funny.
Have you watched the Disney ones like Fantasia?
Yeah, that movie is really boring.
Yeah, I never understood the hype behind that. It's just there's like water and there's mops, buckets. Like, what are the stakes of this show? Like, I don't.
It was like a failure when it first released, so it was just hipsters who like it now. I think even Pinocchio was a failure when it first released.
But I like Pinocchio. Pinocchio's pretty good though.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. I think the best one is still Snow White, to be honest. I had a crush on her when I was young.
Why? Because she had those rosy cheeks.
I guess so, yeah.
What about totally lost track. I feel like we're getting off topic now.
I mean, it's cartoons.
One thing I forgot I really want to address, like some of those Tex Avery things you sent me, especially the car one you showed me.
Oh yeah.
Pretty racist.
Yes, yeah.
What's your take on like problematic humor in like cartoons and in comedy in general?
Yeah, it's a good question. Obviously, you have to know these were released in the 40s, 50s, and 30s and whatnot. So, you know, as Whoopi Goldberg says in the Looney Tunes Golden Collection Volume 3, these are a product of their time. I have to send you that. It's pretty funny.
She spoke at my college for.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. And but anyway, so yeah, you have to take that into consideration. And it's like, was Tex Avery like actually like racist? Probably not. I don't think so. It's just you know, he was just, but he wasn't exactly like super woke either. I mean,
I don't think anyone was at that time though.
Yeah. And definitely there were definitely people who were less racist than others. Like Chuck Jones was like less racist than probably Tex Avery or Bob Clampett in my. If you're one of those people who like gets like uncomfortable when you watch these cartoons like certain parts, like I feel you, because sometimes I get like that too, but it's more like, okay, we get it, like blackface, ha ha ha. It's like, it's not really funny, you know what I mean? It's like,
right.
It's low common denominator humor. Tom and Jerry cartoons did it a lot as well. It's like, which kind of goes to show that they were hacks. Because it's like, oh, the audience will laugh at this because black people, am I right? that's the joke, and that's why it's pretty lame. But one Tex Avery cartoon, I don't remember what it was called, but it was with George and Junior, 2 characters, and they were basically looking for like the smallest African as like a prize. And there was
the littlest African.
Yeah. It was pretty funny cartoon. Yeah, you had the like typical racist gags like, oh, here's a watermelon, he'll get this, and it's like you kind of roll your eyes. But there was this one really funny part at the end which didn't really have anything to do with race. But it was really funny. It was like this really long sequence where like I forgot exactly what happened, but something like bounced and it just kept bouncing and it was like bounced all over these animals and it was just really funny. So I think if you just completely denounce all like these old cartoons because there's some racist stuff in it, you are missing out, in my opinion. And yeah, it's like don't get too sensitive. You know what I mean? I agree with Whoopi Goldberg. You have to think these cartoons were screened in movie theaters, mostly with like random adult films. Like they didn't know what movies they were going to be paired with. And one of the directors for Looney Tunes, his name was Friz Freleng. He was like asked in an interview, like, "Oh, who did you make these cartoons for? Like, did you make them for kids?" He's like, "No, I never thought about kids because they weren't made for kids." You know what I mean? It was just general movie public.
Which
Because
consists of kids, right?
I mean, I guess, but like, I don't know, a movie like Citizen Kane, is that for kids? I don't know like how many kids.
I'm not arguing with you. I'm asking.
Yeah.
Like, genuine, I'm genuinely asking questions like, who went out to see these Looney Tunes things?
Late night, like a movie like at 8 p.m. Let's say, like that's a pretty common, I would imagine, movie they would see like 8 p.m. on Friday in the 50s, right? I don't know. Is that like
Right,
really for?
It sounds like these were clearly for adults. Then
I think so. And
Yeah.
like if you watch the Tex cartoons, like the wolf archetype, like that's not really made for kids. It's like it's really sexualized. So
I mean, cartoons now are very sexualized. That's
yeah, but it was a different time,
Like I remember being a child watching Animaniacs, and it was all "Hello, nurse," and like horniness. I feel like has always been like one of those adult things that can slip into children's cartoons.
Yeah, but like I don't know, the wolf cartoon, is that really for like 5-year-olds? Like Disney is definitely for kids. Like I feel like that was always the goal usually. That's why like Disney like made Mickey into a less interesting character because he wanted it to be like a role model for children.
Wait, so Mickey used to have a personality? Like
He used to have a personality, yeah. He was
like right now
rambunctious.
he's just like this weird blank slate of like,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
trying to be a
yeah.
good person.
What did you say? You cut off.
He's like a fucking Jackie Chan in every movie. I don't want no trouble.
Yeah, I mean, if you watch the first Mickey Mouse cartoon, he's kind of a dick.
Oh really?
Yeah, he it's called
What's
Plain
that?
Crazy.
Steamboat Willie? Is that the first one where he's driving the boat?
The first one was actually Plain Crazy. He like steals a plane. He tries to kiss Minnie against her will. He kind of like he's kind of like
so wait, was the title Plain Crazy or was it just Plain Crazy?
Like PLANE because he steals a plane or something.
That wordplay.
Yeah, I just realized that. That was wordplay. I didn't even realize. But yeah, yeah, yeah. The whole notion of cartoons being for kids is very pervasive through our culture. Even though when you think about it, it doesn't really make sense. What about animation makes it exclusively for children? Nothing really. The only reason why it was made quote unquote for kids is because it's cheap. Especially the Hanna-Barbera cartoons. It's like, yeah, just fucking make their mouth move and just whatever, just shit it out. Kids don't know about quality. That's the real reason. And then all the theatrical cartoons were syndicated during I guess early mornings or something, and that's when kids woke up. So yeah, that's there's something about cartoons that's for children, really, if you think about it. Yeah.
But don't you think that's a problem? Because like cartoons are now being just like for adults now, if that makes any sense. And so always these weird like long narrative like things that I think undermine the medium. Because it's like this could be on camera, a one camera show.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean. Yeah, again, that's why I like that the text in those old cartoons like Looney Tunes. It's the happy medium, It's like Yeah, they were mostly made for adults, mostly, but kids can still watch them and still find them funny. Obviously, like we all did, but and yet they're still punchy enough for adults. That's why they're my favorites. Whereas nowadays it's more secluded, I guess. Like yeah, like you said, like I don't. Do I really need to watch an hour 90 drama cartoon? I don't know.
Like I was
I don't
watching
know. It's a good
that
question.
Porky Pig cartoon you sent me, and he's going hunting and he shoots his shotgun up, and hits a guy and rips off his pants. He comes down and punches Porky.
Yeah, yeah.
If this was today, like Porky Pig would shoot the gun up and it would kill that person, and it'd be a whole thing about like gun safety and
Yeah.
like the Second Amendment, and like he has to like like discover himself and see like, why do I need to hunt? And maybe he goes vegan or whatever.
Yeah, he's a vegan and he's a pig, so he can't eat himself. But yeah.
I think another thing why you like Tex so much is he doesn't have an agenda beyond like he's about the craft. He's about like he's like, I just want to make you laugh. He's never like, I want to make you think. I want to make you really change yourself or like see my point of view.
The best way to change myself is to make me laugh, dude. You give me those endorphins and that dopamine rush, and that changes me enough.
That's serotonin.
Yes, king. No, that's a great point. It's like I like the pureness of him, if you will. It's like I'm just gonna I got 7 minutes. That's all I got. Not gonna like give you a lecture on
I got 7 tight minutes.
But yeah, that's any other questions about him or
do you feel that the like Tex Avery, when he came out, like he fostered like more of a community and connection with like his arts? Like, do you think like it brought people together more than like current comedy or current cartoons?
I have no idea, to be honest, because I don't really know how it was back then. Maybe like because I don't even know if he had like, I'm sure he had fans, but like again, it was
I mean,
so
he
awkward.
had to, because you just told me about that "What's up, Doc" line, like making like a constant like
yeah. And I mean, the first Wolf cartoon, I mean, again, it basically went like viral, like it was really popular. But again, I don't know like how much they were paying attention to the title card. Oh, Tex Avery, you know what I mean? I know that like eventually afterwards, like people started like really becoming fans and like writing books and stuff. So I guess in that way, yeah, he did kind of foster that community. I just know that his biggest influence was just like the wacky cartoons is just in his shadow, you know what I mean? It's always like it's like maybe that's why like cartoons are kind of like the more realistic, quote unquote. It's like it's kind of really hard to compete with the cartoons of yesterday because they had big budgets, you know what I mean? So they feel they have to go a different route, which I get. But yeah, I something has been lost.
How about, do you vibe with any of the Japanese cartoons?
Yeah, they're very different. They're very different
because they blur that line, because it's very realistic, but then it gets really fantastical and like exaggerated.
I think anime it's a little hard for me to watch, to be honest. I think number one, it's like how do you say it? Like it's a little formulaic in and of itself, like the cutaways and like the way it's filmed, it's all very similar, and like the tone of voice, it's always like it's always like the same tone. It's weird,
My big problem with anime is like the writing is always the same. It's always an exposition dump. Like they always have that flaw where it's like,
yeah,
Yuki,
that's a good
what's
point.
up? Well, that's a Dark Lord, and he has a dark sword, and you need the dark energy to beat him.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
how do you get here? Oh, I got here through the dark plane. Yeah.
You went playing crazy.
Call back.
Yeah, that's a good point. Honestly, I feel like I know this is gonna rile some people up, but if you watch one anime, you kind of watch them all. I don't know.
Damn! Spoken like a true Tex Avery fan. The racism comes out of you. In conclusion, if you watch these cartoons, you will think all people look the same.
No, you know what I mean.
And
I
you
like
will also find blackface funny.
No.
No.
I don't know. I like Death Note. Did you ever watch that one?
No, but I hear it's great. This guy writes like people's names in a book and it kills them, right?
It is good until the end. It does have a pretty lame ending.
So
Yeah.
you advise I watch it and then skip the ending?
I don't watch it because then it's like I don't know.
Have you watched Neon Genesis Evangelion?
I keep hearing about it, but no. What is that?
All right, so basically, mankind is under attack by God, and he sends out these monsters called angels to destroy the earth. And so, what the earth does is they kidnap these angels and encase them in metal. So, like, they're like robots, and like people like pilot them to fight the other angels.
It's like why? Why?
It's giant robots fighting monsters. So that's
I don't know. And they're long too. There's like a lot of seasons. It's like, oh my god, dude.
Yeah, it is quite the investment, and they just keep on churning it out like they have to for some reason.
They do. Their job depends on it. But yeah, that's what I like about the old cartoons. They're short films. You know, they're not episodes. They're not part of any series. You don't have to watch 50 episodes of one season. No, you just watch 7 minutes. You get a laugh. You're good. Go on with your day. That's all I need. I don't need 500 episodes of robots fighting each other. Like, give me a break. Sorry.
Yeah,
that
it sounds
you.
like anti-pandemic entertainment. Just like do it, and then you can go outside.
Yeah, I'm freaking sick of this shit. Not everything needs to be binge watched. Like, have a little balance in your life.
So in conclusion, Tex Avery is also for moderation in the medium
Yes.
of entertainment. I guess like my final question would be like, what modern things do you like or you find inspired by Tex Avery that you recommend people check out?
That Looney Tune show, it was pretty funny. It's obviously very different from the old cartoons, the old Looney Tunes.
The one with Kristen Wiig?
Yeah, it's like Looney Tunes combined with Seinfeld. I personally like it, and I think it's getting a little uptick in interest again. It's getting some of the attention it deserves. I can't really think of anything right now. I'm sure there's something. It's funny, like even the movie like The Mask, it's like very inspired by that Tex Avery style comedy, and as well as Who Framed Roger Rabbit. There's
classic.
Yeah, there's the scene that's very obviously basically stolen from him.
What scene is that?
It's the scene when he's in Toontown. It's like 30 years old.
Yeah.
It's that scene in
These guys ruined Who Framed Roger Rabbit for me.
It's that scene in Toontown when he thinks he caught Jessica, but then she's like some old crazy lady and she like chases Eddie and like she falls and like there's an elevator and Droopy's in it, and Droopy is a Tex Avery creation, by the way. But yeah, that scene is directly from the Wolf cartoon as well. That Wolf cartoon is just obviously very influential.
Oh, what's the name of that cartoon?
It's called Little Red Riding Hood.
Ah.
Oh, one thing I forgot to mention just about Tex Avery in general is that I like for him, and this is I think why he speaks to me, it's like for him nothing is sacred, you know what I mean? And he will make fun of everything. And he made fun of a lot of just movie cliches and like Disney. He especially made fun of Disney, which I really like because I don't like Disney, especially today. But even back then, I mean, I like them, but not that much. And that speaks to me personally because I like to make fun of everything. And that is my message to you folks. Make fun of everything.
Take on all challengers.
That's my message. That's for you to think about. That's my agenda.
The offender.
That's my agenda.
Did I said final question, but I lied. Did Tex Avery actually cause like a lot of feuds, or did he have a lot of like a heat or turmoil because he just made fun of everyone?
I don't know about that per se, but he did have a feud with his boss at Warner Brothers. That's why he moved to another studio. By the way, he moved to MGM for most of his career. Yeah, the lion roar, which is actually a tiger. And there's some conflicting things, but apparently he wanted to do this weird thing where it was like animals talking, but like real life animals, and their mouths moved.
Also, like the Lion King too.
Kind of, yeah. And apparently his boss didn't like that. But there was also another thing where one of his Bugs Bunny cartoons was edited and he didn't like it. So there's some conflicting things. But yeah, that's all I really heard about him. He was very professional, and he was apparently quite he was kind of a workaholic. Like he did a lot of things for his cartoons, and he worked overtime. Like apparently he would go on Saturday and change the timing of something, you know, just like me, to the tenths of a second. Another reason why he inspires me.
Perfectionist.
Yes, for his art. And yeah, he was pretty kind of shy and just kind of a low key guy from what I heard about him.
So he was like not as bombastic as he is on an introverted writer.
Yeah, probably he had a lot of energy inside of him, I think, and he needed to find an outlet for it.
All right. Well, that is that. Kasper, I will give you the last word. Anything you want to plug that we already plugged that you forgot?
Yeah, check out our video. My YouTube channel is KASPER space K period Kasper K. The video is This Video Will Change Your Life.
Bam, check it out.
And check out Tex Avery as well. He has 2 DVDs. I think they're called Tex Avery Screwball Classics. You can also find a lot of his random cartoons on Daily Motion because YouTube sucks with their copyright.
These bastards.
Yep. I think my favorite Tex Avery movie is it's hard to choose, but if I had to choose one, I will choose. Wait, what was it called? It was the movie that we were talking about earlier about him having the argument with his boss. It was wait, I'm gonna find it right now. Hold on. It's a pretty nondescript.
Move this around. Computer's dying.
It is called yes, The Heckling Hare with Bugs Bunny. It has apparently the longest, it's in the Guinness World of Records for the longest on-screen fall in cinema history. I don't know if that's true, but it has it has a very long fall. And it's a great movie. You should check it out.
The longest fall.
Yeah, The Heckling Hare. It's 7 minutes.
Nice. All right, I guess we'll wrap it there.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew, Yo Critic, for having me on this podcast. Check out the YouTube channel. It's Kasper space K period with It's all K, Casper with a K, and that's where you will find the first YouTube video that we made, and then more to come. Don't worry, folks.
Around like what schedule can we expect a new video to drop?
Yeah, definitely by the end of the month, and then once we get the momentum going, we can do them even sooner, like every 2 weeks.
All right.
'Cause I'm still getting used to stuff, and I would like to still learning stuff. So yeah, but yeah, should be by the end of the month, and then bi-weekly eventually.
All right, cracking along. So go out, check out that YouTube link. The video's hot fire. Push it up to 400, please.
It will literally change your life.
It will change your life. You want gurus? We got you. You want laughs? We got you. Enlightenment and entertainment
Wisdom
combined.
Yes, queen.
Play. There's a woman in the video. There's a minority in the video.
Yes.
If you hate them, there's also a white man in the video.
Yeah.
And he's in charge.
The woman plays 2 roles, so